Welcome back. I'm Keegan Cooper in for Kevin McNulty. The State Legion Tournament in Gladstone continued today, and as we look at the losers bracket, the Norway Vikings took on the Hudson Hellcats. Norway got things going here in the top of the first when a blue pop-up here to left field by Brent Legina turned into a double after a run down here between first and second base. Somehow avoids the tag and slides in safely. But Hudson, they're going to respond with 3 runs in the bottom of the second inning when Anthony Arredondo reached second on an overthrow error, and the Hellcats get a run across. In the third inning now, Norway held tough with a pop-up turn double play. Michael Peterson is there to make the catch, and Nolan Amundsen squeezes it at first base, keeping the score 3-1. Fast forward to the 5th, Norway cuts the deficit to 1 run when Cole Baj reached second on a Hudson overthrow error. This would give the Vikings a run across home plate, but Hudson would not rest. They retake command here shortly after Blake Ifland crushes a 2-run homer, this one over the left field fence to make the game 6-3 Hudson. The Vikings would try to respond in the 7th when Evan Haffercorn popped an RBI single into center field. It wouldn't be enough, however, as Hudson would finish the game, taking it a big score 7-5, and a big congratulations to the Norway Vikings on a successful season. A little later in the day, Gladstone taking on Trenton in the winners bracket. We pick up in the top of the first. Trenton already leads 2-0 with the bases loaded. Drew Carson, belts one out to left field, clears the fence for a grand slam, and Trenton up 6-zip early in the game. To the bottom of the third now, Trenton leading 7-0. John Soderman says blast off a bomb, this one into left center, off the light pole there. He didn't even realize it was a homer initially, but gets to hop on home plate with his teammates too. Gladstone, though, still down 6, and that deficit would increase. Top of the 6th, Easton Tinsley with a knock up the middle. Zach Duchesne comes around to score from second. Trenton up 9-2. That would wrap things up here. Caleb Kidd strikes out Braden Sundquist looking. Trenton wins 10-2. They advance to the title game tomorrow. Gladstone has to win another game in the losers bracket if they want a rematch, and we'll be following that tomorrow and all the action. Also in summer sports, Minors Little League Baseball, Gladstone gets a big win over Jackson Northwest. The final 13-0, and Negaunee falls to Ira Township at score 5-0. And in Little League Softball, the 11U division, Escanaba Bats were hot, scoring 18 runs and getting the big win over Sparta, your final 18-0. Well, the Detroit Lions training camp was in full swing, and as the Lions prepare for another season, the focus of training camp this year, the fundamentals. The letters GRIT sit outside the Lions training camp, reminding every player that to get to the top, you have to be willing to put in the work and always have grit. Today's training camp marked the first day of full padded practice for the Lions, and also a chance for rookies like Colby Sorsdahl and Broderick Martin, a chance to get acclimated to life as a Lion. The concentration of the camp, again, fundamentals, do the little things right, so in the big moments, there are no mistakes. Head coach for the Lions, Dan Campbell, spoke on how this is an exciting time, but nothing should change when the pads are put on.
This is really where we find out physically, the guys that can play some ball a little bit, or at least where it begins. All the things that we've been teaching in individual, the group settings, the fundamentals, techniques, you're doing all that without pads, and you want to see nothing should change now with the pads, I guess is kind of the point. So they've been taught the foundation. All right, well, now you've got shoulder pads. And honestly, that's the biggest difference.
Well, the Lions have some time before the jerseys are put on for preseason, and sticking with the fundamentals in practice seems to be the main concentration. So come game time, there are a few mistakes on the gridiron at Ford Field. The Lions open the preseason August 11th in New York against the Giants. Game time is set for 7 p.m.